This is CGTN, China Global Television Network.
Meanwhile, in Tunisia, policymakers have raised alarm over the rising wage bill and debt interest repayments, which now account for more than two-thirds of the state's expenditure. Now, according to documents released by the Treasury, Tunisia's public debt stood at $35.2 billion, and that's at the end of July 2021, up 11.2% compared to the same period in 2020. Well, as Adnan Ashaushi now reports, economic watchers in the country have urged the new government to urgently implement reforms in order to address the worsening economic crisis.
Experts say Tunisia's outstanding debt consists of 39% of domestic debt and 61% external debt, including 55.4% loans taken as part of multilateral cooperation agreements and 16.8% under bilateral cooperation agreements, while 27.7% of these debts were incurred on the financial market.
The current debt exceeds the Tunisian economy's repayment capacity. Consequently, Tunisia's sovereign rating has been downgraded 9 times. The current sovereign rating shows that Tunisia is considered by international financial markets as a high-risk country. It's almost impossible to get foreign loans.
The wage bill and funding expenditures dedicated to the repayment of interest on the debt account for more than two-thirds of the country's spending at the end of July 2021. Salaries, which amount to about $4.2 billion or 11.7 billion dinars, represent 56.7% of total state expenditure.
The average public sector wage bill in the world is around 8 to 9% of the state budget. It's around 18% in Tunisia, and this is despite the fact that there was a written commitment between the former government and the IMF to reduce the wage bill to 12.4% by 2020. Tunisia needs to deal with this problem before any foreign reform plan is imposed upon the state.
Tunisian and foreign experts assert that drivers of inclusive growth need to be rebalanced in the North African state to mitigate from an impending economic crisis.
It's important for the Tunisian government to develop a short-term reform plan to stop the negative trend of the economy. It also needs to rebalance growth in the middle term, which should be higher than 5%, because this is what Tunisia needs to redress its economy.
According to the Ministry of Economy, Finance and Investment Support in Tunisia, 61.4% of Tunisia's debts are in euro, 21.6% in US dollar, 10.3% in Japanese yen, and 6.7% in other foreign currencies. Tunisia's compensation expenses for subsidized sectors and products went down by 19% to some $566 million in the first 7 months of 2021, compared to the same period of 2020. 65% of these expenditures are directed to the subsidy of commodities. Adnan Ashaushi, CGTN, Tunis.